Hey, it's Drew Bennett from BenSpark.com, and I'm here with my daughter Eva and my son Andrew. And we got in the mail today this Jakku ant farm from Uncle Milton, a Star Wars themed ant farm from Uncle Milton. And I thought that, well, I knew I was getting it, and I thought that when I got it, I'm going to have to send away for ants. But after one FedEx guy came, a second came, and it came with the ants. And we're gonna open this up and take a look at the ants. I know it's got some great instructions on what to do. We actually have to put them into the fridge to calm them down for about 15 minutes. But while we do that, we'll set up the ant farm and get it ready for them so that they'll have a nice home. And so we'll open up the ant farm and we'll put the ants in the fridge. It calms them down. It says it right there. So
that sounds like crazy people.
Well, that's what you do. Okay, so we're actually going to open up this.
Could fall around.
They're in a tube. Do not worry. Do not worry. So this package is all packaged up.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be asking my dad if they are ants. Dad, are they real ants?
Yes, they are real ants. So here we have our ants.
Can I see them?
They're
Yep.
tiny.
Okay, so
I can't.
it says that they could bite. So you have to open in the Well, they're in a tube. They're really fine right now, but you listen to the instructions carefully. Oh, I see them moving around. All right, so we're gonna put them.
Can I see them move?
Yeah. So I'm gonna put them put this tube into the fridge for about 15 minutes to give them calm down.
Are they real ones?
They're not pretend real ones. They're actual real ones. All right, so I got the tube of ants from Uncle Milton, and we're gonna put it into the fridge. So say hello to my fridge. I'm gonna set the timer on the microwave for 15 minutes. All right, kids. So what have you noticed so far looking at the box? We're gonna unbox this in a minute, but what are you seeing when you look at the box?
There's a backdrop of Jakku that comes with the ant farm.
Okay, so it looks like the downed, let's see, the cruiser.
Do you want me? I can go check that.
Yeah, we could. That's all right. It's the down spaceship.
It's like some sort of ant farm. So itself, instructions are back. Or here are the instructions. This is like the sand, and this I'm not sure what that is.
It's a stand.
Oh,
So it's a stand. It's a stand it up because it's going to be standing straight up and down so that you can see the ants. All right. We'll take that out. You got it?
Yep. Yep.
All right.
Okay, so the sand out. I need to get the actual ant farm out, which that was big. And now the stander. Got it. So here is your Jakku ant farm. So they have the big scene in the background. And this is, I guess, is the sand and the stander.
So Eva's opened this up, and here is the ant farm. Take a look at the instructions, and what it tells us first is to take off the top part, okay? And then we're going to cut a small corner in the little sand packets, and we're going to put the sand in there. Sure, why don't you grab the scissors? All right, so we got 2 sand packets, and this is something that, as a parent, I'm going to do because... Thank you. Because it can get very messy. So let us just adjust this so you can see this happening. So we're going to cut this little bit here.
It's all happening right here.
Alright, so I'm going to cut a little edge there. And I'm going to make sure that I kind of keep it pinched until I get down here and put the sand into the habitat. Okay, there, and we have a second container. We have to put a little bit of water in there to. That's what it says to do. All right, it's been 15 minutes.
Do you want me to get those?
No, because we're not ready for them.
Okay.
So it's been 15 minutes. The ants are sufficiently it should be sufficiently calmed.
Maybe even sleeping.
That's probably it. So they probably won't be that active when we put them in. So we're going to get this other sand in here. Alright, so...
Is there food inside the sand?
No, there's no food inside the sand. We actually have to give them food.
Oh, so like an everyday meal? Like
We'll see what the instructions tell us.
Okay.
So,
that works.
more sand here.
I wonder if
Okay.
It does look like Jakku.
So, now we need to put about
eat
2 ounces of
an
water.
ice cube.
A quarter. So I've gotten a 1/4 cup of water, and it's to be distributed evenly. So as I pour it, I'm going to just pour it along here and try to get it
Back and forth and back.
nice and even.
Oh, in the back I can actually see it getting down.
You get that water damp. Get the sand damp. Try to distribute it evenly so it's damp, not soggy. Alright, so before we put the ants in, we need to do start tunnels. So what we're going to do is open up the top. Andrew is going to use the tunnel starter, which is the stick that comes with it. And he's going to poke a hole, one down, and he's going to poke another hole. And that's going to start our tunnels. Alright, so we've got the ants out of the fridge, and what it says is to gently tap the tube to make sure that they're all on the bottom of the tube. I think they're all resting, so let's open this carefully, because it does say there's a lot of warning messages here telling us that ants can bite, so we want to make sure that we handle them properly. And so we're going to take this off, and I'm going to set it up to put them in here. So let's just see that. So here I'm going to open up the cap carefully, and I'm going to drop the ants down into the ant farm. I'm sure that the rest of them are not really happy with the banging around. Okay, so our tube is empty. Let us quickly put our cover on, which probably tastes like the inside of Andrew's mouth. And
Yes.
here we have our ants now in our ant farm. And
they are actually moving.
And they're actually, yes, they're moving. And so these ants came via FedEx today, and we can start observing what is going on in the ant farm. I'll get a closer look and show you that there as well. So Andrew, what do you see in here?
Ants and a ship.
Yeah, so the ants, they're actually pretty active. I appreciate if you don't touch the container. You don't want to shake them around too much. Daddy's already shaking them like crazy, putting them in there. So, what do you think the ants are gonna do?
I bet they're eating.
They're eating. I don't know what that orange thing is, but that's probably got to be some sort of food that came with them in their tube. That came flying out of the tube too. I know we're supposed to give them a little bit of like an apple or a grape or something like that. Give them some food. Now, if you notice, look at them. They're kind of going around the different bits of sand. And you know what they're going to make? They're going to make all sorts of tunnels in the sand. Did you know that?
Yeah.
And so we can learn a lot about ants. There's some interesting Q&A stuff, facts in here. And I'm just going to read a few things. So Andrew and Eva, why don't you guys look at the ants and tell me what you're seeing, okay?
Right now, I think they're just exploring because they want to get used to their home.
So, what do ants eat and drink? Ants eat almost anything. They like unsalted crackers, cake, bread, fruit, meat, and leaves, just to name a few. Once a week, remove the top cap and drop in 2 or 3 pinhead-size pieces of food. That's really small.
Yeah. So, like, itty bitty crumbs.
Yeah, almost crumbs. So you will also need to give the ants a few drops of water every 2 days. Just open the top cap and drop the water in. So they're going to get the water from the sand. And actually, if you notice here, you can kind of see where we have some of the water that we poured in earlier. So do ants get enough air? As Andrew observed earlier, there are holes on the top of the habitat. So your ant farm habitat provides sufficient air through the air holes. Then there's another question that asks, what do you think are in there? You think they're male or female ants?
Well, I think there might be a mixture of both.
You think so?
Because, like, they can become families, and then they can have children.
Well,
So, to keep the ant...
you might want to learn a little bit more about ants.
Yeah?
No. One moment, Andrew.
Not
No, all worker ants are female. The only male ants are princes. They mate with the queens and die soon after meeting. Princes. So I don't think we have any princes with us. I think they're all female. So that's what we're going to see there.
Queen ant.
Well, no, I don't. I think in just this one, I think we just have some workers. Is my ant farm brand habitat escape proof?
Well,
What do you think?
I think yes, because the walls are too steep to climb.
Well, ants can do some pretty good climbing. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think what the case
I
is...
have another idea.
You have another idea, okay.
Maybe because it's real slippy and they don't have enough friction to grab it.
Those are good thoughts. Part of it, too, is that the habitat is designed with a self-locking device that makes it escape-proof as long as you use large ants that cannot go through the air holes. So the air holes up here are very, very tiny. Okay, just enough to get some air in there. And the ants are very big ants.
They are
And
big?
this part here are... for ants? Yeah.
Okay.
Andrew has lost all interest in what we're doing because we're not paying as much attention to him. And so he's gone off. But this is going to be an interesting thing for you guys to watch and learn about. And we can learn more about ants. Where is the thing? There's info. Oh, okay. Yeah. Right here. So, Ant Farm brand from Uncle Milton. It's called Myrmecology. It's the study of ants. If you want to learn more, here's a link. http://www.sciencekids.co.nz sciencefacts/animals-ant.html. And thank you, Andrew, for not shutting the door when you went to the bathroom.
Yay.
And do ants take baths? What do you think? Do you think they take baths?
Maybe?
It says yes, they are very clean.
They do.
Watch them closely and you will see the ants rubbing their faces with their legs. They are cleaning themselves when they do that.
Kind of like cats when they lick themselves.
Kind of like cats.
Like rub their paws all over their face and body and.
So we
they can't reach.
got quite a few ants in here. Can ants talk?
Well, I'm guessing they can
Yeah.
because they're gonna need to communicate to work together. Because ants are a colony and they have to try to cooperate with one another.
Okay. Well, our answer here says ants communicate primarily through their sense of smell. They emit chemical signals called pheromones, which communicate specific information to other ants. The ants will pick up on the chemicals with their antenna, which will tell them where the signal is coming from and how strong it is. Some ants can also communicate using sound by rubbing certain parts of their body together, much like a cricket creates noise with its legs.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right. Let's see. We've got another question here. Well, these ants, they work hard. Do you think that they work all the time?
Well, probably they work about most of the time. And then they, at night, they would be eating and getting ready for their next day.
Okay, well, here's the answer. No, they work very hard, but they like to play too. They also rest. When they play, they bump and wrestle with each other. Sometimes 2 or 3 of them will roll a bit of grain or sand around like a ball. So that is the ant farm, and I'm going to try to carefully bring that up over here. So this is the ant farm from Uncle Milton. It's the Star Wars themed one for Jakku. And we have ants in it, and they are starting to colonize and build stuff. Yeah, they're starting to build little tunnels. I mean, we did some starter tunnels, but I think after a while, we're going to have some crazy tunnels and stuff being built in here.
Tunnels twisting and twirling everywhere.
So it's definitely a nice thing for kids to see and observe, especially if they want to learn more about ants. And I know your aunt, we don't say aunt, your aunt is very interested in ants, and she's going to love that you got one of these ant farms to learn more about ants. So this is Drew Bennett from benspark.com and Eva. And you can find me on Instagram as Ben Spark, on Twitter as Ben Spark, at facebook.com/I'm not a famous blogger.
Exactly you are.
And then also you can subscribe here. So let me know what you think of this. And do you have an ant farm, or did you have an ant farm as a kid? Are you interested in ant farms? Because this is a pretty nice ant farm, and I'm looking forward to seeing what our ants do and having our kids, learn about them and keep them healthy and alive. So that'll be interesting. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, actually the question of the day is: do you have an ant farm, or did you have an ant farm as a kid?
You asked that already.
I know, but I'm rephrasing it that this is actually the question of the day.
Okay.
So thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.